Welcome or welcome back. This is Pairs Wealth Knitting. I'm Jennifer, and this is a knitting podcast all about knitting, yarny adventures, and travel. Thank you very much for joining me today. So excited that you're here. We are going through a knitting update of everything that is on my needles, my things that are flowing off the needles, and that I've acquired over time in the last bit. So get comfy, get cozy. We are one of the only lights on this early in the morning. It is my first time ever filming before I go to work. I was motivated. We're here, we're nearing the end of the week, and I'm just really jazzed to be sharing all of the knitting with you. So let's do it. First, I'm wearing really quickly, even if you can see, kind of in this light of lights all around me, and it's, still a little dark. We have the ranunculus on, ready to be sported to go to work. This is the most popular pattern ever on Ravelry, I feel, from Midoiri Hirose. This is a very versatile pattern. You've heard of it, you've knit it, you've probably knit it many times. I have. Top down, we have texture and lace construction, gorgeous little pattern, pretty much any weight of yarn, which quite frankly, anything can be knit in any weight of yarn. I feel this was the beginning of that revolution. And I've knit this version in probably a knitting for all of, it'll be in the show notes. Soft silk mohair in black, a black mohair. And there's a really deep navy from Hillesvag. I bought this at the Knitting Loft years ago. It's probably their Tinde base. Again, it'll be in the show notes. All of those fancy little details about this ranunculus. I love it. It's light, but still warm. And she's getting worn today. We are going to, I think, classify knitting and everything beside me into categories today. So first I'm going to start, I think, with the Little Knits KAL, just because I gave some information, just a little taste from last week, and we will complete the full flavor of prizes this week. So we have had a winner announced. That's going to be coming up at the end. For one of two patterns. This is one of my own personal patterns. This is either the Bellwoods Hat or my favorite fingerless mittens. And the winner will be able to choose which pattern they wish to have. So thank you for all that commented, your lovely little comments, and checked out last week's episode. This is kind of as a kickoff into the Little Knits KAL. And if you wish, you can choose to knit that thing as we move in as yet another entry into more prizes. Little Knits KAL to just top surface, more details and inspiration is found in last week's video. This is anything that we would consider, and you as your own knitter, as a little knit. Could be a baby knit, a child knit, it could be an accessory, it could be a slipover, something that is small, and it can be a gift for someone that'll get you motivated, hopefully, to knit up before the holidays, or for yourself, because we're all worthy, we deserve it. So that's the Little Knits KAL. There are two gorgeous additional prizes that are gonna come out December 31st. So you can cast on right away, get going on your little knits. You can knit one thing, you can knit as many as you wish, and each will count as an entry. We're using the hashtag Little Knits KAL. There's going to be one prize featured on Instagram and one on YouTube. Instagram will be the Lopper & Hops small envelope wallet. You'll have to go and follow Lopper & Hops, gorgeous website. You're gonna love it, gorgeous account. And that will be drawn at the end for December 1st. Actually, I should say after December 1st, because we go until December 1st for the small envelope wallet. Again, more details all on her Instagram feed and also in last week's video. Such a nice prize and love it. The second prize is the Mariner's Daughter gift card. This is a $25 gift card to Mariner's Daughter, which is a lovely yarn shop in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. And for that, you're going to be commenting in the future on YouTube. Once December 31st hits, you'll be hearing more details as we approach. And that's it. And I think I've got some additional prizes coming up, but you shall see as we flow through the month of December, which is quickly approaching. All right, with the Little Knits KAL, of course, I am into the little knits right now. I'm a big garment knitter, but always this time of the year, I think with gifts and other inspiration that I'm absorbing and loving, I get into little knits myself with accessories. So I think I'm going in a little bit of a wonky order, but it makes sense with the way that I am sharing little knits that I have. I'm actually starting with a whip. You people that watch the podcast are probably thinking like, she's starting with a whip. I know, we're also filming at like 6:30 in the morning. Things are a little upside down in a fun, magical way here. First on my needles is a cast on from yesterday, actually. This is the Bellwoods Hat. I am knitting this very festively in 2 different yarns held together. These are yarns that I'm going to just touch on that I purchased from Fia in Halifax, a lovely yarn shop by Juliana. You're gonna be seeing more yarn that I purchased. It is just a center. We have the red is my first time using Peruvian by Filcolana, and then we have a knitting for olive pink. Again, show notes will include more details. You're also gonna be seeing my acquisitions. And again, first time working with this, wasn't sure how I felt because it's super not rustic. I'm loving it. I'm knitting the Bellwoods Hat, which is my design. It's a broken rib hat with a fitted crown. And this is a very different version of my Bellwoods hat. If you've been here, I've done unspun, I've done very chunky wool, and it was a looser gauge with a really big crown, which I really enjoyed. This one I'm going a shorter crown. And I'm tighter gauge. I've reduced my needles by 2 sizes. I want a tighter fit, so I'm going less ease. With my other versions, I've had more ease. That was the look I was going for. But this one, I want a much more snug fit, a much more dense fabric. So I'm still using the same stitch counts. This is a size number 2, and I am loving what's happening. So this is a US 6 that I'm using. Again, I was using a US 8 on the other guys, and loving it. I'll let you know how it blocks out, what the measurements are, because it is a little more rogue from the pattern. But I just hope that we feel as knitters, you know, having different pieces of equipment, and I think, you know, the taking a bit of risk can be really successful in the end. So even though this isn't following true like pattern gauge, that we're still able to get something that we're desiring that's meeting our vision. Yeah, loving it. That's the Bellwoods Hat. This is one of the prize pattern options for a winner today. So that's super festive and fun. I did pair it with this pink. So yes, it's festive, but I'm going to feel like I definitely can wear it throughout the year, not just December. Loving that. And that's my subway knit for today. Just cast it on yesterday. It's gonna take me no time to finish today. The next up on the list for the Little Knits KAL, and if I was participating in my own KAL, I would definitely be entering these things with hashtag Little Knits KAL, posting on Instagram as one of the ways that I can randomly win one of the prizes. So highly encourage you to do so. We have some Bellwood mittens. I've just knit these up using the same wool. So this is, and let me just get it here. This is the Filcolana Peruvian wool and the knitting for olive. This colorway, I don't even know if it says, it's a number. It's very non-meaningful, 218. And the pink, do we also, we have a color name, is Belly's Pink. That is what it is. I can't believe it sounds like a typo, but it's not. Belly's Pink. So just fun colors together, bright, and we knit up a pair of mitts. Now these are not favorite fingerless mittens. These are Bellwoods mittens because they match, of course, the Bellwoods motif. I kept these with a US 8. I'm writing up the pattern super easy, and you'll be hearing more about these. I do wish, actually, for this particular yarn, I had knit up in a tighter gauge, but I've got quite a bit of yarn left over. This probably won't be the last pair of this exact wool, and loving it. They are, sorry, I have a watch on that's silicone, so we're gonna put it over that guy. We're gonna see how that works. But they are mirrored, slightly mirrored mittens. So they're just a fun little pop of color and of cozy, and I'm really enjoying that they match the little like chapeau, little hat. So these are the Bellwoods mitts. You'll be seeing more of those soon. Cool. That is it for the Little Knits KAL. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hashtag Little Knits KAL on Instagram, and there we are. Next up, we're gonna go through FOs and then some whips. And we are doing fun on time because it's morning and I am having a hard cutoff. So let's do these. Okay, I have knit. I've had a desire and a complete vision of a simplified, minimal slipover. I created a version that you would have seen, it's right across from me, but I feel like I want to make this video very efficient, in the gray. And I did some double knitting all on bands to give it a clean look. It turned out stunning. I haven't blocked it, but she's ready to wear. I realized doing the double knit bands, and because there's two, it's a lot. It's a beautiful finish. But in the end, is that something that I would want to knit again? And again, I'm constantly evaluating and assessing to see, like, is this the most efficient, effective part of what I'm enjoying? Can I bring more joy out of it? Can I get the look that I'm pushing for even more? And I mean, I've done this even before. I was getting a little more creative and writing patterns, and we did it. Like this is completely my vision. So we have a slipover that is exactly what I was wanting. I will be somewhat efficient with these because these have not been released yet, the slipover, but I will be reaching out for test knitters soon. I've written up the pattern, or reviewing, I should say, the pattern this weekend to make sure that it's sorted to go out as a test knit. So keep eyes open for that on Instagram. If you do not have Instagram but are interested in doing a test knit, you can always email me at pairsworldknitting@gmail.com. Slipover. She is a minimal, beautiful slipover with details that just allow the slipover to shine. In general, I have knit this version, and you're gonna see a second version with a high, this is so floppy, with a high neck. I've done an in pattern bind off. We have stock net here, we have a 3x1 ribbing, and we have a tab that brings us together. So it's basically like two pieces of fabric. I know it sounds a little crazy, I almost want to say it's kind of like a bib. So it's allowing for warmth on the front and back, almost like a big dickie, like a body dickie. I don't know if there's another word. I feel like this is like a very Canadian word. And then a tab that brings it together. I've loved this. I've already worn this version once this week. It just came off the table from blocking, and I have another one that I'm gonna show that I feel like I love even more. This is in a very chunky gauge. This is actually a bulky weight yarn. This is the Alpaca Ultra Chunky Alpaca, I think I wrote it down, Barocco Chunky Alpaca, and is in really interesting yarn. I don't normally knit with alpaca, so it's pretty like, what's the word? Flowy, is that a word? But enjoying it. It's got a slight itch to it, I think, especially when I have a big neckline, but I am wearing it with a blouse underneath, so I just kind of pop the neck, and I'm enjoying that. I have a second version that I've done, and this one, I feel this is the showstopper. This is great. This is one strand Let Lopi and one strand knitting for Olive soft silk mohair, and I feel this does what I want. This yarn I purchased from the Mariner's Daughter, where they're offering the prize of the gift card for the end of the Little Knits KAL. Could this classify as a Little Knits if you're participating test knit? Maybe. I mean, go for it. Again, we have a big neckline, so I've copied exactly to make sure that my knitting pattern matches what I've produced inwards, and has this little tab to close up the side, or I should say connect the front and back, because it's not really a side. So it's an open feature, which I'm really enjoying. Not only the look of, it's a super wearable knit. When inside, I'm bebopping around at my job with kids all day, and I do wear my sweaters, but I have to sometimes like take off, take on, take off, take on, because we're moving, we're getting our bodies moving. With this, I mean, it does allow for the warmth on the front and the back, but I think with these open sides, there's a lot of temperature regulation, which I'm highly enjoying. And I've worn this one with a dress. I've worn my brown with pants, like with jeans and a shirt. I'm loving it. You're gonna find out so much more about these slipovers. Really jazzed. Watch out for the test knit. Next up, we're gonna talk about whips. We're gonna whip through the whips. My most active whip that's getting attention on the subway and knit night is my Soldotna crop. This went by the wayside when I was getting down into the Slipover train, which is fair. This was my fall Soldotna, and she is now becoming my winter Soldotna, which is okay. Overall colorwork pattern, knit top down round yoke from Caitlin Hunter. This is the second time I'm knitting it. It's got just a stunner of a yoke with lace. I think it's called lace stitching for the body. I'm going to be adding a little bit, just like a little kiss on the sleeves, and loving that. The yarn is Holtzgarn Super Soft, except the cream. The cream color is Soul by Hillesvag. It's been a dream to knit. I'm gonna renege that. The pattern is a dream to knit. Since it is my second time, obviously, I'm finding it super enjoyable to do. However, just talking really quickly, and I'll go probably into much more detail when I'm talking about the finished object, I would not actually choose this yarn pairing for the sweater again. I've chosen this exact same yarn for my first version, and I know I knit color work in a very different way. My method now of doing color work, where I'm using, maybe I can show you quickly. I've got the two colors over my first index finger. I'm a continental knitter, and I pick through when I'm doing color work. Two things that I'm not enjoying. One, the Holt Super Soft is crazy toothy. It is the most sticky, like Velcro type yarn I've ever used, which people have raved about for color work. I feel for me, in the way I'm knitting, it's too sticky. And the fact that I'm doing two strands held double together to get the gauge that I am. So you have technically 4 small, thin strands of yarn that you're picking from on your finger. And yeah, I'm finding it's too much. I do get into a rhythm eventually, but it's not as flowy and joyful as my last color work piece, which was another Caitlin Hunter design. It was the Jupiter crop by Caitlin Hunter. I used Pure Gant for that, which is a very much more round yarn. That was 1 strand. Color work for me, I need 1 strand and I need less toothy. Anyway, moving forward to future pairs ball knitting, Jennifer, there we are. So that's a Sudotna crop. We'll all see how much we get done on that guy. And my mom's birthday was just last weekend. We went and celebrated. I checked in with her to see how we're doing on the vest, and she has approved everything, which is great. This is a complete rewrite and mod of the Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knit. She had wanted a V-neck sweater, one that I couldn't find a existing pattern for. So we took the Slipover pattern and took a percentage of the gauge and reworked the pattern. It sounds crazy, it really wasn't. It's a really simple design, thank goodness, but we're there. I wanted to find out the length that she wanted, and we're definitely getting there. I think I'm gonna do like a 2-inch ribbing hem at the end. Things that I did come across that are a little, did I do this? What? Yes, I did. I did an in pattern bind off for the V neckline, which I feel is clean and actually looks really nice, sits flat. But then on the armbands, which I always experience, is that I did an in pattern bind off and I was getting a wing. This ribbing was flaring. It was very unattractive. So ripped it out, which is no big deal because it takes no time to do that kind of bind off. And I did I remember I showed this before. It's like a Rook bind off by Rook Knitting. I'll link it below as well because I found this sewn bind off is very easy to do, looks really nice. It is basically where you're stitching through with your what's called needle, tapestry needle, 3 strands, and on the next one you're going the next 3, but you're knocking the first stitch off. That's all you're doing. Super easy, and you can go as tight or as loose you want, so it brings in that finish and ribbing perfectly. I feel really happy with it, and even happier that I did not have to do an Italian bind off because I'm not that girl. I think that might be it for the whips I'm going to show you today because the other whips are kind of in hibernation. We are going to get into, I'm just checking my notes. Oh, I've got one more whip. I've got one more whip and she's hiding. There we are. Last whip, and then I can talk about the yarn and the forge, Fibre Forge I went to. This is a free pattern that I featured. I just pulled a stitch off. On last week's video by Robbie Lachlan. This is the Texture and Twist Shawl. Hold on, I've got somewhere. Yep, Texture and Twist Shawl by Robbie Lachlan. And it was a pattern that he has available for free that he released during the Hamilton's Fibre Forge winter edition. It just happened 2 weeks ago. I attended, it was fabulous. I actually met one of the test knitters there. She was the one that brought it to my attention. I met her, we took a little photo, super fun. She had her Bellwoods Hat on, like what? It was awesome. And this is yarn I purchased at the Fibre Forge. Fibre Forge in Hamilton is an event that they have twice a year. It was my first time going. First is in winter, and then the second is in March, so kind of like beginning spring-ish. And it features a variety of vendors that sell fiber, so like fluffy stuff to knit with. Obviously spun up yarn, hand-dyed yarn, accessories. They had a little like bakery there, like a home bake goods table booth. It was fantastic. It was held in the, I think it's called the Cotton Factory in Hamilton. Beautiful venue space, very cool. They have an old freight elevator that they had like a guy in the lift that was like doing the thing to bring you up. Very cool. This yarn, I'm just in love with, so hard. This is from Twin Oaks Fiber Farm. The vendor, her name was Laura. I've met her twice now. I met her at the Ontario Spinners Seminar that happens in June. I went last year, if you remember, if you've been here. I will be going again because I had such a blast. I had actually bought fiber for her for spinning on my drop spindle, which I've just learned months ago from that seminar. And so now we have a spun yarn from her. This is a Lopi yarn. And actually I'll see, we're going out of funny order. So this is what I purchased. It's just a dream. It's light as a feather. It's got one strand that's just spun around. So no like additional, it's not plied, I think that's what it means when they have two of these that are put together. And it's a dream. It's like, it's got a bit of a halo. We are looking at, so this is Twin Oaks Farm. The shepherdess, I believe, but I think there's a few of them. Like I think it's her and her husband that run the farm. It's hard because they don't have a website. Her name's Laura Sharp, and it's locally grown and milled yarn and fiber in Guelph, Ontario, and it's just a stunner of a yarn. She's included some like fabulous little details on the card here. So this is, it says grown by, I'm assuming the sheep's name. Laura was really busy in her shop as we were going through. Pippa, Queenie, and Rob. I'm assuming that this is the sheep's name. I'm not sure if it's the shepherd and shepherdess's name. I'm gonna go with the sheep, I'm not sure. And yeah, it's a Lopi 1-ply, 200 yards, interesting no meterage for 100 grams. So it's beautiful. I actually looked up to see what kind of yarn weight this was, and it's between weights. So we're looking at like DK and like sport, but it's in between. Anyway, but it's a shawl, so there we are. I do have to say, I'm enjoying the shawl, but I'm super not a shawl wearer, and this yarn is so gorgeous. I have 3 of these skeins. I'm almost wanting to pull it out. I know, this is naughty. And create something that I want to wear like fully on my body, even if it's like a 3/4 length sweater or a little crop sweater. I don't know, but you're gonna be seeing more of this. Like it's a delight. It's a delight. I wish you could touch it. I wish you could smell it. I wish all these things for you. It's lovely. Fibre Forge was great. That is the only thing I bought, except can I even get it? I have one more thing. These stunning buttons. These are from Stone Spindle Farm. The farm and maker from Ontario, just north of Prince Edward County from Napanee, and or north of Napanee, I think I remember the maker saying. These buttons I was immediately attracted to. I thought they were really cute and unique. I thought they were wood at first. They're not. They're actually antlers, deer antlers. Before you judge, I was very open, and I asked the gentleman who was selling these and had made them, that I said, oh, are you a hunter? And these are left over from like hunting. He said, no, he goes out while on his walks in the forest, and he really enjoys finding antlers that have been shed by deer. He takes them back home and he makes the buttons. So these are shed antlers. He had more information because he had different colors. So there's this gorgeous, I don't know if it's showing up, like kind of like beigey gray that are all super gorgeous and unique that he's hand done into these buttons, like hand fashioned into these buttons. But he also had like very like bone white ones. So I asked like, what's the difference? He said, these ones haven't been off the deer as long as the white ones. The white ones are like sun bleached, he said. And so you can tell by looking at the colors that they have shown their age in different ways, and I love them. I also feel very happy that they were antlers that were found on the ground from being shed off. I'm sure there's a proper term for this, but I love them. I think they're stunning, and for the price, you know, it's insane. Again, makers, I feel, have to cost their things at reasonable prices for themselves because they're taking their time. gorgeous. I wanted to do a shout out to these wonderful makers. And yeah, if you're able, I'm pretty sure these are online too. We're doing okay. Next up, I want to share, so I shared the yarn. The last thing for 2 more objects was Fia. These are acquisitions. I've already shared some that have been incorporated into my makes. This is my first time using Filklana. I'm so excited. You've seen the red already in the Bellwoods stuff. This is a different color. It's got another number, Fancy Romantic 973. It's normally something I wouldn't go for, but I am leaning towards the browns now. So I have 2 more balls of these, which I think, you know, I could give another go with the Bellwoods mittens to make them a little more tighter. This I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with. I've got some visions, so we'll see. It's a very soft, like non-rustic yarn. I don't know how non-rustic people would describe this. They might describe it as rustic. It's processed yarn and mass-produced yarn, but is just stunning. Anyway, I love the yarn shops out in, I love all yarn shops. I love the yarn shops out in the East. Fia in Halifax, very unique experience. Love it. Juliana is a stunning human. And yep, every time I go in through to Nova Scotia, I try to stop in either on the way there or the way back, wherever we're going, and just have a lovely chit chat with her. She's such a woman of insight. She's so creative. Love it. So that's from Fia. Last thing I want to share is a book that I purchased. My life and I were on a walk over the weekend, and we really enjoyed. This is the thing, like, as an urban folk, there's always different things that we come across on the weekends while we're out walking and whatever. And this, we came across the Monkey's Paw, a shop on Blue Air. It's a secondhand bookstore, but they curate books that have been published before, I think it's like 1989. Anyway, so it's, oh here, they're old and unusual printed matter with special emphasis on visual culture, obsolete options, and, opinions and technologies, earnest works on highly specific topics, books as artifacts, and pop detritus. So interesting little bookshop we came across. And of course I asked, do you have any knitting books? And they did. So we purchased this. This is the Complete Book of Knitting from Barbara Abbey. This was printed in 1970 something. I want to say 71. Yes, 1971. And I mean, there's just, I've already started reading and flipping through. It's got a little, do you remember like when people used to give books to other people as gifts and write, my mother used to do this all the time, and write like a little piece here. So this person actually did their address, but I remember like in the books that my mom used to gift us when we were children and older, it was always like our name and then like Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday, we love you, and then like signed off from the parents in the book. It's so meaningful and gorgeous and kind of like has my heart. So I'm enjoying this book. It's got like, it's an interesting and somewhat dated like methods guide of knitting, but also has this like really wonderful little like stitch dictionary at the end for flat knitting, mind you. But it's, I mean, I feel like I have to be careful because it's printed, but it's probably not in print anymore, so I'm not sure what that means legally. But this perhaps, as well as we're heading up into Black Friday, you know, you might want to enjoy some of the goodness and the sales that are out there, which, you know, cool. You know, we're not judging, but as makers too, allowing ourselves to realize that we can, you know, find really lovely, meaningful goods from independent makers, from places or people that are selling things that already exist, that they don't have to be made from a factory, and that maybe would otherwise go to a landfill or be burned. So just be a little mindful as we bounce into a very high consumable season. Yeah, but we're mindful. We're knitters, we're making our own fabric and clothes. We are now drawing for our 2 winners for the Pre-KAL Little Knits Giveaway. This winner, or these 2 winners, will be winning one of 2 patterns from myself, either the Bellwoods Hat or the Favorite Fingerless Mittens. Here we go. We're gonna capture everything. Thank you everyone for your lovely comments on the last video. And I'm recording now. I put all the comments in, beautiful little pieces from everybody, which is so nice. And our first winner is, it's still going, lovely. We have Gabby Knits 7960. Congratulations to you. If you can please reach out to me through email, would be the best. So we are looking at pairswellknitting@gmail.com. To claim your prize, she's saying that she would love to have the Bellwoods hat, which is great. So yes, if you email me, I will get you the pattern right away, either PDF or to your Ravelry library. Doing the second draw, same idea. We're going to be drawing for one of the 2 patterns, either Bellwoods hat or Favorite Fingerless Mitts, to kick off the Little Knits KAL. And we will get started with our draw. Giveaway is just going through all of our different comments as we go. Our winner is Wise or Vise Vanderbeek, 1504, sorry, yes, 1507. So that's Wise or Vise Vanderbeek, 1507. Please email me, pairswellknitting@gmail.com to claim your prize. Thank you, everybody. All right, I have to get going to work. I have to, sip my coffee as quickly as I can. Thank you so much for being with me this morning and starting off my day this way. It's been lovely, really unique. So I feel like I'm set up with a little more energy than normal moving in. Into the day, hope you join the Little Knits KAL. I hope you find absolute great joy in your knitting today. And I hope you enjoy consuming in a way that is meaningful for you this holiday season and coming up into Black Friday. Until next time, take care.